Farmers say gas pipelines have long-term impacts on their crops and their livelihoods. 2 pipelines cross this farm where Rob Fuller grows corn. He's recorded a decrease in the yield.
The yield reduction is exaggerated in dry weather, and we'll see yield reductions anywhere from 20% to even as high as 50 or 60% of a yield drop over top the pipeline. I would say it's not extreme large of land that's impacted, but anywhere over top those pipelines, I would say an area as wide as 50 feet is impacted, and so those 50-foot right-of-ways that run completely across each of these fields will show that yield reduction.
Fuller says the roots on the corn stalks that sit atop the pipeline easements aren't as well developed as the roots on the rest of the crop here.
This is a stalk here that had yielded very well. We had a good season this year, so our crop yields were really good. And again, for a stalk to look this big and healthy this late in the winter is a testament to how good the crop was. So this stalk, obviously, compared to the other one, weight-wise it's a lot lighter, less root mass, very thin, and you can just see that it didn't have the ability to produce a crop like the first stalk. And so, a pipeline was put in here, 60, 70 years ago, is still showing those yield losses to this day.
Another problem? Topsoil isn't protected during pipeline installations.
The installation of the pipeline is critical in that if you don't, separate your topsoil from your subsoil and then replace it appropriately, it takes Mother Nature, thousands of years to build topsoil. So once you destroy it, in my lifetime, I'll never see it come back to where it should have been.
The financial losses for farmers are also significant.
What bothers me the most is that, farmland in particular is a finite commodity. And so when you start running pipelines through farmland, you're damaging the farmland and you're reducing the ability for us to produce food. So that should be weighed in, I think. That's an important factor.
Michael Anko farms 2,000 acres of land for hay in Hunterdon County, New Jersey. The proposed Penny's pipeline will cross through 9 of the 50 farms he uses.
I have to make that ground as level as a lawn, because when I cut it within 2 inches of the ground, and so you got to have it level. So I don't know, when they go through with all their equipment, they're not going to get it level.
Michael Anko says the construction and pipeline right-of-way may also make it difficult to get access to the land he farms.
It's going to take 3 years for it to come back, if it ever comes back. So the devastation is going to be a long time.
The farmers say the compensation they'll receive from the pipeline companies doesn't match the long-term financial impact.
If you're going to run a pipeline through somebody's land and you're going to condemn that land because you can't get permission to put it through, I just think it's so unfair for a company to come in that can generate so much income off the pipeline and pay the landowner this measly amount to go through their property, which basically you have no bargaining with them because they can condemn your land.
Farmers say because much of the land is part of the state agriculture development project, the compensation for the easements goes back into the state coffers rather than to the farmers. Fuller says he also had a problem with a pipeline company crew who came on the field to conduct work and damaged his crops.
We all went to the pipeline people and we got some restitution, but the point is they came in on my land and didn't say anything about, and though I rent the land, I own the crop, and they were able to go in there and just decimate that crop without even notifying me.
They don't care about the land. The land to them is a vessel to put out gas pipelines. That's all it is.